Jakarta, the capital city of Indonesia, is home to numerous public parks that serve as spaces for recreation, education, and social interaction. Among these, Cattleya Park stands out as a vibrant green space located in the heart of the city. As a vital element of the urban landscape, Cattleya Park provides residents with a place to relax, exercise, and engage with the community. To ensure the functionality of this park, the presence of signage plays a crucial role. Designs offer information, rules, and guidance to visitors while encouraging behaviors that promote shared comfort and environmental preservation. Linguistic signs in public spaces such as Cattleya Park are not merely practical tools, but also reflection of the relationship between language and sociocultural values. A pragmatic approach helps analyze the communicative functions of the signs, while semiotics reveals the hidden meanings of behind words and images. Here is the 5 signs analyzed are detailed. Sample 1. Every visitor is prohibited from smoking. In the pragmatic subfield, this rule acts as a directive speech act aimed at restricting visitors from smoking in the park. The prohibition is not optional, but a mandatory rule intended to protect the health and well-being of everyone in the space. Smoking can release harmful substances and pollute the air and disturb the peace of other visitors, especially in an open public area like park, which is designed for relaxation and connections with nature. The directive here is rooted in the pragmatic goal of ensuring a shared, clean, and healthy environment. Additionally, this prohibition indirectly communicates the values of respect and consideration for others, as smoking could infringe on the comfort and health of non-smokers. The pragmatic implication is clear. Visitors who smoke disregard not only the explicit rule, but also the implicit social norms of mutual respect and environmental responsibility. Such a directive aligns with institutional goals of promoting health-conscious behavior and reducing the environmental footprint of litter, such as cigarette butts. In the semiotics subfield, there are denotation. The notation of the sign is the symbol of a cigarette with a red slash across it directly signifies a prohibition on smoking. Accompanying the text reinforces this meaning for clarity. For the connotation, there are health awareness. The image and rule convey a message prioritizing public health. It suggests that smoking in shared spaces is not only harmful but socially unacceptable in modern contexts. Environmental stewardship. Cigarette litter is a significant issue, and the sign signals a commitment to maintaining the park's cleanliness. There are also social order. By forbidding smoking, the park aligns with broader societal norms emphasizing discipline and shared responsibility in public spaces. There are also myths. In the myth, the ban represents a modern ideal of urban progress where spaces are increasingly designed for collective well-being. It also reflects a narrative of evolving social attitudes. What was once considered normal, smoking, is now perceived as harmful and disruptive. The red color universally symbolizes prohibition, danger, and urgency, reinforcing the importance of compliance. For the linguistic landscape subfile, design uses Bahasa Indonesia to address a rule prohibiting smoking in the park. The clear wording, "Setiap pengunjung dilarang merokok," is straightforward and formal, reflecting its importance as a public health directive. The absence of English translations limits accessibility for international visitors, but the accompanying no smoking symbol bridges the gap as it is universally recognized. This linguistics and semiotic pairing highlights the park authorities aim to ensure clarity for a broad audience. Regardless of literacy level, the dominance of Bahasa Indonesia here reflects a focus on serving local visitors, as the park is likely used predominantly by Indonesians. However, incorporating English could make this rule clearer from foreign tourists in Jakarta, emphasizing the city's multicultural nature. Sample 2. Every visitor is prohibited from throwing any rubbish. Here are the pragmatic subfile. This directive explicitly prohibits visitors from discarding trash responsibility within the park. Pragmatically, the goal is to foster a sense of shared responsibility among park visitors to maintain the cleanliness and beauty of the space. Littering is not just physically act of carelessness, but a social violation that describes the collective experience of the park. By forbidding littering, this rule emphasizes the importance of preserving the park as a communal resource. It implicitly communicates the idea that maintaining the park's cleanliness is a collaborative effort. Each individual plays a role in ensuring the park remains a pleasant and welcoming environment. The directive assumes a shared understanding of civic duty and environmental consciousness, which are cornerstones of urban public spaces. In semiotic subfile, there are denotations. The image of a person throwing trash outside of the bin with red slates over it signals a clear prohibition against littering. For the connotation, civic responsibility, the rule appeals to a collective ethic of taking care of shared spaces. In connotation, there are also preservation of beauty. Litter-free spaces are visually appealing and invite greater enjoyment. The rule implicitly asks visitors to align with this vision. In connotation, also there are environmental awareness. Beyond aesthetic, littering has broader ecological implications, such as harming local flora and fauna. Design positions the park as a space where such harm is actively prevented. In myth, this prohibition reinforced the narrative of a modern disciplined society where public spaces reflect the values of order, cooperation, and respect for nature. The rule transformed the act of properly disposing of waste into a symbol of good citizenship and environmental stewardship. In linguistic landscape subfile, the text again uses formal Bahasa Indonesia, which aligns with the tone of government issued regulations. The symbol of a person littering with a red slash supports comprehension for those who may not read the text, such as young children or foreign visitors unfamiliar with the language. This sign reflects the emphasis of environmental responsibility in urban spaces aligned with broader society efforts to promote cleanliness. While the use of visual is effective, the absence of English limits its reach to international visitors, even though the visual element partially compensates for this limitation. Sample 3. Every visitor is prohibited from trading or selling. Pragmatics. Pragmatic subfiles. This rule forbids commercial activities such as vending or trading goods within the park. Pragmatically, this aligns with the purpose of the park as a recreational and leisure space, free from the distractions and potential conflicts of commerce. The directive ensures that the park remains a tranquil, uncommercialized space where visitors can relax without the noise, crowding, or aggressive selling often associated with vending. By enforcing this rule, the park management established a boundary between private enterprise and public leisure. The rule implicitly communicates a value system that prioritizes non-commercial, communal experiences over individual profit-seeking activities. This ensures the park functions as a refuge from the commercialism of urban life. In the semiotic subfiles, there are denotations. The symbol of a card with a red slash over it denotes that vending is prohibited. In connotation, there are preservation of purpose. The rule ensures the park retains its identity as a space for relaxation, free from market-like activities. There are control of public space in connotation. Prohibiting vending is also about regulating how public spaces are used, reinforcing the idea that they are for communal, not individual gain. There are also social equity. By banning vending, the park avoids privileging certain groups over others, maintaining a balance of interest. And for the myth, this role reflects the broader urban planning ideal of parks as non-commercial zones, It ties into the myth of parks as egalitarian spaces where everyone, regardless of socio-economic status, can enjoy the same level of access and tranquility. For the linguistic landscape subfield, the rule explicitly targets informal vendors that ensures the park remains a recreational space. The formal tone of Bahasa Indonesia indicates a direct, authoritative prohibition aimed at maintaining order. The accompanying symbol of a card with a red slash provides a visual cue that strengthens the message. Unlike the previous signs, this rule may not resonate with international visitors as clearly because the symbol is not universally understood. Adding a simple English translation such as no vending or selling could improve comprehension for a broader audience. Sample 4. Every visitor is prohibited from bringing pets. In the pragmatic subfiles, the directive prohibiting pets serves to protect the park's environment, visitors, and local wildlife. Pets can pose risks such as noise, aggressions, or waste that disrupts the shared experience of the park. The rule pragmatically addresses these potential issues, ensuring the park remains a safe and enjoyable space for everyone. Implicitly, the rule suggests an understanding of shared spaces as zones of mutual respect. It acknowledges not all visitors are comfortably around animals and that the park's design prioritize human recreation over pet-friendly activities. The prohibition also reflects concerns about hygiene and the preservation of delicate ecosystem within the park. In the semiotic subfiles, there are denotation. A symbol of a dog crossed out with a red slash communicates the restrictions on pets. In connotations, there are safety and comfort. Prioritize visitors' safety, especially those who may have allergies, fears, or cultural concern about animals. There are ecological protection. Reinforce the idea of parks as spaces for nature conservation, free from disturbance caused by domesticated animals. There are inclusivity. Ensure that the park is accessible and welcoming to all visitors, including those who may not be comfortable with pets. In semiotic, there are myths. A myth reflects a societal preference for controlled, orderly environments where human needs take precedence. It also aligns with the myths of urban parks as sanctuaries for both people and wildlife, emphasizing separations from domesticated influences. In linguistic landscape subfile, the rule reflects an efforts of ensure safety and cleanliness in the park. This text is detailed, listing specific animals to avoid ambiguity. A practical approach given Jakarta's diverse pet-owning populations. The symbol of dog with a red slash complements the text, offering immediate recognition for visitors. However, the specific The specificity of the rule in Bahasa Indonesia limits its accessibility to non-local visitors. Including an English phrase like "no pets allowed" would broaden its reach, ensuring compliance from international park goers. Sample 5. Every visitor is prohibited from swimming. In pragmatic subfield, this rule prohibits swimming in water features within the park to ensure safety and maintain the intended purpose of these features. Pragmatically, it addresses the risk of injury or accidents and the potential misuse of water features designed for aesthetic or ecological purpose. Implicitly, the rule communicates aspects for the design and purpose of the park's facilities. It discourages behavior that could damage these elements or disturbs the experience of other visitors. The directive aligns with broader safety regulations in public spaces, emphasizing the park's responsibility to protect its user. In semiotic subfile, there are denotation. The image of a swimmer with a red slash over it clearly conveys the prohibition. In connotation, there are safety emphasized. Highlights the park's concern for visitor well-being and the importance of adhering to rules to prevent harm. There are aesthetic integrity too. Preserve the intended role of water features as visual or ecological assets rather than recreational spaces. In myth aligned with notions of public parks as orderly, rule govern spaces where activities are carefully curated to prioritize collective enjoyment and safety. In linguistic landscape, subfiled, the text uses concise, formal bahasa Indonesia to convey the prohibition against swimming. This aligns with the public safety priorities of the park authorities. The symbol of swimmer crossed out with the red slash is clear and universally understood, making it effectively for both local and international visitors. The pairing of the text and symbol here demonstrates a strong linguistic and semiotic strategy, as the visual element ensures that even those unfamiliar with Bahasa Indonesia can understand the prohibition. Design prioritizes simplicity and clarity, making it one of the most accessible among the rules. Sample 6. Every visitor is prohibited from fishing. In pragmatic subfile, the rule against fishing protects the park's aquatic ecosystems and ensures the water features remain undisturbed. Pragmatically, it prioritizes ecological balance and discourages behaviors that could harm fish or disturb the habitat. The directive also fosters a sense of respect for natural elements within the park. Implicitly, this prohibition communicates the value of preserving nature for shared appreciation rather than individual exploitations. It reinforces the idea that public parks are sanctuaries for biodiversity. In semiotic subfile, there are denotation. A fishing rod with a red slash over it clearly signifies the prohibition. In the connotation, there are ecological awareness. reflects the park's role in conserving biodiversity and preventing harm to aquatic life. There are also collective enjoyment. Ensures the water features can be appreciated by all visitors without interference. In the myth, symbolize the modern ethos of environmental responsibility and the idea that natural resources in the public spaces are meant to be admired, not exfoliated. In the linguistic landscape subfield, the rule directly addresses an activity that could disturb the park's ecosystem or disturb other visitors. The use of formal bahasa Indonesia maintains the authoritative tone consistent with the other rules. The symbol of a person fishing with a red slice effectively reinforces the message, especially for younger visitors or those unable to read. However, like some of the other rules, lack of an English translation limits its accessibility to non-Indonesian speakers, including no fishing allowed, would enhance design's inclusivity and align it with Jakarta's cosmopolitan characters. We're going to the conclusion. The analysis of the linguistic signs in Cattleya Park reveals that these signs serve a dual purpose. They not only regulate behavior within the park but also reflect deeper socio-cultural values. Through pragmatic and semiotic lenses, the study highlights how these signs communicate essential rules and guidelines while also embedding broader societal norms, such as environmental consciousness, respect for public spaces, and the preservation of shared resources. Each rule, from prohibiting smoking and littering is banning commercial activities and pet ownership, align with a larger narrative or urban spaces as communal, orderly, and environmentally conscious designs create an atmosphere of shared responsibility, emphasizing collective well-being over individual desires. The use of universally understood symbols and clear directively helps reinforce these values, shaping both behavior and the public relationship with the park. Moreover, the mythic interpretation of these signs underscore a vision of public park as spaces for collective enjoyment, free from disruptions, where nature and human interactions are harmoniously balanced. The semiotic analysis illustrates how these linguistic signs, while simple in their direct message, carry complex layers of cultural significance linking the park to broader environmental societal ideals. In conclusion, the linguistic signs in Cattleya Park are not only functional, but also deeply symbolic, reflecting the ongoing interaction between language, culture, and public space management. They help define the park as a place of shared values and experiences, fostering a sense of community and respect among visitors.